If you've avoided using an online scheduler because you're worried it'll feel cold, impersonal, or like you're giving up control of your calendar, this video is for you. I want to show you how to set up a Dubsado scheduler in a way that actually gives you more control, not less. And if we haven't met yet, I'm Amy Pearson. I help service-based business owners set up Dubsado systems that feel supportive and intentional, not rigid or robotic. And I hear the same concerns all the time. I don't want to feel unapproachable. I don't want people booking whenever they want. I don't want to feel like I'm pushing people away by sending them a link. I'm worried I'll lose control of my schedule. Those are valid concerns. And the good news is none of them are actually caused by the scheduler itself. Most people think an online scheduler means handing over the keys to your calendar. Like once it's live, anyone can book you at any time and you're stuck just jumping to whatever time and appointment they've booked. But that only happens when the scheduler is set up without intention. A well-built scheduler does not replace human connection. It replaces friction. Here's something I want you to consider. Clarity isn't cold. When someone books through a scheduler that explains what the call is for, sets expectations, confirms next steps, and respects your time and their time, they're not having to email you back and forth a bunch of times to set an appointment. You're not having to write those emails back to set that appointment. And everyone has more time. They don't have to reach out to you to ask what the appointment was again, or the video conferencing link, or when was it, where was it, all of those things. All of that's taken care of by the scheduler, confirmation and reminder emails. That actually feels more professional and more trustworthy, not less personal. You're not saying, don't talk to me. You're saying, here's how to work with me. These are my boundaries. I don't think any one of us would be upset if we went online to book a hair appointment and there was a button to click to book an appointment, get a confirmation email, and add it to your calendar. Most of us would be really happy that there wasn't a phone number there to go call the person and book the appointment. We've got things to do, and your clients, I guarantee, are feeling the same way. Another big fear that I hear from my clients all the time is fear of losing control of the calendar. But the truth is, if people are DMing you, emailing you, and asking when you're free, you're already reacting. An online scheduler lets you decide at another point when you've had time to think about it and say, these are the days and times that I book appointments. What times are available, how much notice you need, how many calls you can take in a day, how much space you want in between those calls to take care of paperwork or grab a snack or get outside and enjoy a walk with your dogs. That's not less control, that's designed control. So what I'm going to show you next is how to set up a Dubsado scheduler that feels warm, intentional, and fully within your control. You don't need to open your calendar wide or be available all the time. You just need a setup that matches how you actually want to work. Let's dive in. Inside of Dubsado, you are going to want to go to Templates, Scheduler, and add a template. This is the Dubsado scheduler template that you're going to see when you create a new scheduler. The very first thing you're going to want to do is give it a name that represents this appointment. Then you're going to want to choose the appointment duration, so you can set how long this appointment should be. And you can say how far out you'd like someone to be able to book this. You can set a rolling day window, which only shows a certain number of days of availability. So if you like to make sure people book calls within the next 2 weeks, for instance, you could put in a 14-day window. If you don't care when they book, you can say indefinitely. Or if you're doing something that falls within a fixed date range, you can set something like this. This works really great for mini sessions because you can say, okay, my mini sessions are in October. So I can say, set it for October 1 through October 31st, and then put all my dates for availability in there. For this example, am going to use a rolling day window and just say 14 days. So this will show them 14 days from today's date and what is available for appointments. Next up, we're going to say when we're available. And you can see this is set up for 9 to 5 every day. Personally, I don't like and I don't recommend to my clients to have the whole calendar wide open like this, because what you end up with is a lot of appointments peppered throughout every single day. So I like to set appointments for certain days only and certain times. So I'm going to say 10 to 5 on Tuesday, and then click all Tuesdays. I could also say only a certain day, and that again works perfectly for mini sessions. But I'm going to say all Tuesdays. I'm going to go on and say, yeah, Wednesday. I think I'll make that a client-facing day as well. Add times and say all Wednesdays. Thursdays, I want to have time to focus on client work without interruption. So I'm going to say all Thursdays are off. Maybe for right now, I'd like a little bit of time on Fridays just in case. Okay, then I'm going to circle back to Monday. Since I don't want to take client work, maybe that's my CEO day or something like that. Time to focus on just the business tasks I need to do in my business. I'm going to leave that blank and say all Mondays are not available. So now clients can book from 10 to 5 on Tuesday, 10 to 5 on Wednesday, and 10 to noon on Friday. Once booked, I want them, in this case, to show me as available, so no other schedulers can book me for that day and time. If I was doing something where I wanted a bunch of people to be able to book with me for the same time, because it's a class and there can be multiple people in that class, then I could change it to available. Next up, we want to set the location so we can use that information in our confirmation and reminder emails. I'm going to say Google Meet. And then I can pick an email template to use to send someone an invitation to book this scheduler. This is generally not something I worry about setting inside of Dubsado, but you can. It's helpful when you're building workflows because it'll automatically fill in the email that you've set for this scheduler to invite someone to book a call. I don't actually have one set up for this scheduler. Oh, there we go. Invite to schedule a consultation. So there you can see I've got my email to book a consultation. Let's just rename this consultation so it makes sense. Now I've got this all set. The next thing I'm going to do for this scheduler is click on Advanced. And this is where I tell the scheduler how much time in advance I want them to be able to book. For instance, I don't want someone booking an hour before their appointment time because I need time to look at this. So let's say 24 hours in advance for appointments. They can't book any sooner than 24 hours before. And I want maybe a 15-minute window before and a 15-minute window after the appointment. So once this appointment is booked, it won't book another appointment right up to that appointment, a 15-minute space in between there. Now, because this is a 30-minute appointment, and I've said I want to have a 15-minute window before and a 15-minute window after, we're going to want to set this display available time slot in increments of for 15 minutes so that we're not having some weird, awkward spaces created. Because if we put 30 minutes in and someone books an appointment at 4 o'clock, they get done at 4:30, but we've said we want 15 minutes after the appointment. However, the scheduler is looking at every half hour, so it's not going to be able to book anything until 5 o'clock. And we actually would prefer that someone be able to book at 4:45, let's say. So I'm going to set this for 15 minutes so that they can book every 15 minutes. And I can say, I'd only like to set 3 of these appointments a day. You can also use this, allow this scheduler to be used X times. And this is good if you want to limit how many people can book this appointment. And this is where if you are booking a webinar, let's say, and you want 30 people to be able to book, you could set this to use it 30 times, and then it won't let the 31st person book or anyone after that. Then we want to set a welcome message. I've got greetings from Dream Photos here. This is going to show up at the top of the appointment scheduler. And we can also set a confirmation email. This is sent once someone has booked the appointment. So I've got my wedding consultation scheduler. And you can see here, this one is set up to let's connect by phone. So obviously, I maybe would want to go back and say this is a phone call. Or go in and change this email template. I can connect an additional form to this, which I'm going to want to do if this is a person who's not already in my client list. So if I've got this on the website as a free offer, someone can click to book and then we'll collect their information. So you'll want to connect a lead capture form in this case. I'm going to leave redirect URL blank. We can talk about that in another video. And I can also toggle on invoice if there's a payment required to book this appointment. Then the last thing you want to make sure that you toggle on is notifications. We want to make sure to send a notification ahead of this appointment. So I'm going to say 24 hours before and grab that wedding consultation reminder 24 hours before. And then let's do 1 hour before. I like to send that one last reminder just in case, because I know sometimes people get busy and they forget those kinds of things. All right. And then the last thing we can toggle in on is monthly view. But I'm going to leave it at 1 week view. So I'm going to click save and our appointment scheduler is saved. Now you might be wondering, where do those emails live that are attached to this scheduler? Those are actually over in canned emails under templates. And if I scroll all the way down here, you can see I've got this payment or wedding consultation email. And I can go in here and edit this. So remember I said that we were meeting on Google Meet. I'm going to edit this so it says Google Meet. And then I've got smart fields that put the client's name in here. And I've got this scheduled, the smart field that sets the date and the time in this email, so they'll get that. It also has a smart field that fills in that appointment location and is showing them where to join the call and giving them that appointment link. Another thing I can do, and I like to do in my emails, is say, P.S. If you need to cancel or reschedule, please use the links below. And then I'm going to add some smart fields here for those appointment buttons. One other thing that's not in this email that I would want to add is an add to calendar. So I'm going to add that text there and add this appointment, add to calendar link. Now that this email looks the way that I recommend that you set these emails up, I'm going to hit save and close, and that's good to go. It's nice to know that that email that I've just updated, if someone were to book a call, say a half hour from now, they would get that updated confirmation email because the scheduler goes back and looks at the email templates inside your Dubsado account whenever that scheduler is used or when the reminders are sent. So if you decide to make a change to your reminder email that's in that scheduler, it's going to update, and the next time that reminder is sent, it's going to send the updated version, which I really like because sometimes you need to hop in and make a quick change, and it's nice to know that those updates go out. Now there's one more thing you need to do to make sure that your scheduler doesn't double book you, and that is go into calendar and click calendar settings. Make sure that the calendar that you want Dubsado to look at is linked. So you can see here my Amy calendar is not currently linked, and I would want to make sure that this linked button was clicked and that I was connected to the right calendar. And then obviously make sure that you are entering your appointments in the correct calendar and marking them as busy if you don't want someone to be able to book an appointment when you're busy. And we'll go into more of this once I get out of this desktop view. Before we wrap this up, I want to talk about how your calendar and your Dubsado scheduler actually work together, because this is where things can get a little confusing. Your scheduler looks at your calendar to decide when someone can and can't book you. So every event you add to your calendar is either blocking availability or just there for reference. And if you don't understand that difference, it can feel like your scheduler is out of control when really it's just doing exactly what you told it to do. When you add appointments to your calendar, many people don't realize that you can set your appointment as busy or not busy. And sometimes that terminology is a little different depending on if you're using Google Calendar, Apple Calendar, or Outlook. But basically, busy means no one else can schedule an appointment with you during that time. Not busy means I want to see this on my calendar, but I'm still open to appointments. And so that's really helpful for if you're doing things like time blocking, or you want to put a note on your calendar that says this is when my fall mini sessions are, but you still want people to be able to book during that time. That is where you want to use that not busy setting. I also use it sometimes if I have a course that has a weekly call, but I don't mind if I get an appointment booked during that time slot necessarily, so I'll set that as not busy as well. Other things you might want to set as not busy are if your child has to be picked up from soccer and your husband is the one doing it, you want to see that he's the one picking them up from soccer, but you don't want it to block your calendar because you're still available to take appointments. So that's why busy versus not busy matters so much in your appointment settings. Another thing to keep in mind with your calendar is if you've got other tools like NG and project management tools, both connect to calendar, I have to be really careful about making sure that those types of things are not connected to the same calendar that my schedule is connected to. So it's a good idea to have another calendar that you can add those things to so you have the visibility, but it's not connected to that same calendar that your Dubsado scheduler is looking at, because you don't want your weekly publication schedule to impact whether or not someone can book an appointment with you. And I'm speaking from experience. When someone said, hey, you don't have any appointments for 2 months, I was like, uh-oh. And so I learned that lesson the hard way. Another practice to keep in mind is to make sure that your appointments when you are out of the office, let's say a doctor's appointment, a hair appointment, those kinds of things, you want to make sure that those are set for the full length of time that it's going to take you to have the appointment and also get back to your office from the appointment. Additionally, I would set another appointment time or use the travel time feature in Apple Calendar, if you use Apple, to add the travel time to the appointment. So when Dubsado is looking at your scheduler, it sees that you're not available for that whole time while you're driving to the appointment, at the appointment, and getting back from the appointment. And I would also add a little extra padding on the end of that appointment to get back in the office and get settled, so you're not rushing into your appointments if you've been out on the road driving or something like that. One other thing that I always make sure to mention to my clients is that you don't have to go into the Dubsado scheduler to mark yourself busy if you don't want to have appointments on a certain day. Maybe you're taking a mental health day, or you don't want to have appointments on Fridays in the summer. You don't actually have to go into your Dubsado scheduler to fix that. You can do that right from your own calendar that's connected. You can just put a block on that calendar date specifically for the whole day and mark it as busy. Or, for instance, if you don't want appointments on Fridays in the summer, you can put a block on your calendar for the whole day on Friday, mark it as busy, make it recurring every Friday, and then have it end on the end of August. So automatically in September, you will again have Fridays available for appointments. And then once you've got your calendar connected and everything set up in Dubsado, it's a good idea to test your scheduler and just make sure that the availability that you think should be there is what's actually there, so you don't have any surprises. Once your calendar and scheduler are working together like this, everything gets easier. You're not managing availability, your system is doing it for you. Now that you've seen how the scheduler works on the inside and how to work with the scheduler when you have a connected calendar, I want to go back and revisit something we talked about earlier. Using an online scheduler isn't about being less accessible. It's about being more intentional with your time and your energy. When your scheduler is set up well, it actually removes friction, sets expectations, and creates a better experience for everyone involved. You're not handing over your calendar, you're designing it. And that's a really important shift. If you're watching this and realizing that your current scheduler or your entire Dubsado setup doesn't actually support how you work, that's exactly what I help with. You don't need to guess at this or force yourself into someone else's system. You can book a discovery call using the link below, and we'll talk through what kind of a scheduler and Dubsado setup makes sense for you, your business, your capacity, and your goals. And if this video helped you rethink how online schedulers work, I'd love for you to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.